All right, let's be real for a second. Does this sound familiar? It's a cycle that so many of us get stuck in, and it goes a little something like this.
Okay, so first thing, you wake up and you're already tired. I mean, the alarm just went off and you feel like you've already run a marathon. The day hasn't even started.
But you've got a plan, right? You tell yourself, okay, today is the day. I'm going to get everything done. I'm going to be super productive.
And then you do it. You open your phone. Just for a minute, you say, I'll just check a few things. Famous last words, right?
You look up and boom, it's night. The whole day just gone. Poof. And that grand plan to study, yeah, that disappeared too. So what are you left with? That awful sinking feeling in your stomach. Assignments are piling up. There's this heavy guilt. Your head is buzzing with stress. And of course, you make that classic promise to yourself. Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure. Now, it's so easy to just call this laziness, right? To beat yourself up over it. But what if that's not it at all? What if we're not even looking at the right problem? This is the big idea, the thing I really want you to get. You don't have a time problem. You have an energy and focus problem. Think about it. Your brain is just overloaded with classes, family stuff, and a million notifications. It's not about finding more hours in the day. It's about getting your brain's energy back. And that's exactly why all that typical advice you hear, just wake up at 5 a.m., study for 10 hours straight, it just doesn't work for most of us. It completely misses the point. The smart way? It's about managing your energy, not just your time. Okay, so let's get into the practical stuff. How do you actually do this? Well, it all starts with the first hour of your day. Let's talk about how to absolutely win your morning. And there's some real science to this. When you grab your phone the second you wake up, you're flooding your brain with what they call cheap dopamine. It's like eating junk food for breakfast. It feels good for a second, but then it makes it almost impossible to focus on the real important stuff later. You're basically sabotaging your entire day before it even begins.
So instead of reaching for that screen, try this. It's a super simple system. First, wake up and drink a glass of water. Then, just sit for 2 minutes. No phone, no noise, just quiet. Then ask yourself this one simple question. What is the absolute most important thing I need to do today? Once you have it, just work on that one thing for 25 minutes. That's it. This little victory creates momentum that can literally carry you through the whole day. All right, you've won the morning. Awesome. But then, the afternoon slump hits. Your energy tanks, and that little break you promised yourself turns into 2 hours of mindless scrolling. So let's talk about how to beat that afternoon procrastination. And here's something you really need to understand about procrastination. It's not about being lazy. It's not a character flaw. It's actually a response to fear. Yeah, fear. We're afraid the task is going to be too hard, or we might fail, or frankly, just starting feels like this huge mountain to climb. So how do you trick your brain into getting started? Easy. You use the 5-minute rule. Pick that one task you've been avoiding, you know the one, and just tell yourself, I am only going to do this for 5 minutes. That's the deal. Anyone can do something for 5 minutes, right? But here's the magic. Starting is always the hardest part. Once you get going, your brain actually wants to keep going. Okay, on to the evening. Look, by this point, your brain is tired. Your energy is low. It's just a fact. And trying to fight it is a losing battle. The secret is to work with your tired brain, not against it. And this requires a huge mindset shift. We have to stop waiting around for motivation to just magically appear. It won't. Instead, you need to start thinking, okay, I'm tired, so what can I do that my tired brain can actually handle? It's about making progress, even when you don't feel 100%. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, instead of trying to cram a brand new, super difficult chapter, use your evenings for what I call low-energy tasks. Things like doing some light revision, watching a few explainer videos online, making some quick summary notes, or solving a couple of easy practice questions. It's all about consistency, not intensity. All right, we're at the final piece of the puzzle for the day, and it's a big one. How you end your day pretty much determines how you're going to start the next one. This is all about setting up your future self for success with a quick 10-minute routine. So before you crash, just take 10 minutes, that's all. First, write down your top 3 tasks for tomorrow, no more than 3. Second, get your books, your notes, whatever you need ready to go. And third, and this is huge, put your phone far, far away from your bed. See, an unplanned day starts with anxiety. A planned day starts with calm. And please remember this.
We treat sleep like it's a waste of time, right? Something we can cut back on to be more productive. That is completely backward. Sleep is not wasted time. Sleep is performance fuel. It's what recharges your brain, your energy, your focus. It is absolutely non-negotiable. So we've gone through the tactics for your morning, your afternoon, and your evening. But honestly, none of this stuff will stick for long if you don't have the right mindset. So let's talk about the foundation that makes all of this work. I really want you to hear this, okay? Let this sink in. You are not behind in life. Just because you had a bad day or even a bad week, that doesn't make you a bad student. It just means you're undisciplined right now. Your current actions are not who you are forever. And that's the best news of all. Discipline isn't some magic trait you're either born with or you're not. It's a skill. It's like a muscle. And just like any muscle, you can build it with practice. You don't have to change your entire life tonight. Just start small. Start with one focused hour today. So what's the big takeaway here? At the end of the day, we all get the same 24 hours. Time itself doesn't change your life. It's how you use that time that changes absolutely everything.